Well, you've got to see him with me. He just doesn't ever take any pictures of me with them. They do that with me too. It's just like, oh my gosh, that Pearly, that little black one is just like a little, like a baby doll. She likes to be held like a human. Weird. All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for being here this evening. Thanks for taking the time out. Dr. Sheila and I are both here, and we welcome you to this call. This call is our testimonial call, Wow Wednesday. We call it Wow Wednesday because everything's just wow about what we're learning, what this device is doing for people. So, um, I am going to go over the disclaimer. The disclaimer of the AO technology is not a medical device. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. If you're sick, please consult with your healthcare provider. Um, and the way this call works is if you have a testimonial and you would like to share it, just unmute yourself, share away. And if you're new here and you're just here to hear what's going on, we welcome you and just follow up with the person that invited you here. So I am just going to open the floor up to anybody that would like to share a testimonial. I have a good one that I'll share about mom if nobody has one, but I can share that later.
Well, I will read one from one of my Europeans. This lady, I just love this lady.
Go for it.
So Martina Fleming shares again. She has a client that went to her osteopathic doctor who found out the problems that showed up on the frequency levels about her liver and intestinal problems. He didn't know about the scanner or what it showed, but was able to help her client. And she was amazed about the scanner and how great she's feeling and allowed her to share.
Wow.
So apparently that's whatever showed up on the scan, the osteopath was able to identify and help her resolve.
Nice. Yeah, this is such a great tool for if doctors would actually look at it. It would
Yeah.
give them some great insight as to what's it's not diagnostic, but it does give you some insights on what could potentially be the issues. I know I've been combing through somebody's scans that sent me their scans. It's one of my QLAs, and she needs a little help. And, just combing through the information she sent me, I was able to pick out a few things that maybe when she looks at it, she's not seeing that. So sometimes having a second set of eyes on your scans can kind of help you see what maybe you're not seeing. So feel free to reach out to someone that you know is a little bit more seasoned in looking at the scans, because you can get a lot of information um, from the inner voice, from the body systems alone. And then soon, evidently, our scanner will do that even with the vitals and the comprehensive, according to Lauren. So I can't wait for that day.
I advise everybody if they're seeing another kind of practitioner that they take their relevant scans to them to let them review the information because it might help them pick up on something they hadn't considered. And it doesn't need to be diagnostic. The information that it's giving is just so many clues about what's going on. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I should maybe take a look at that. So it's just
Yeah.
so insightful and it can
It
really help
really
a
is.
practitioner.
It really is. I wish more understood that because it really does give you some great indications of what could be potentially going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Just
I've just done a couple of scans so far, and listened to the frequencies. Not
good.
not having any comprehension other than that.
That's okay. That's okay. The whole thing, and what I tell a lot of the new people is just scan and optimize and maybe look at the classic view. And if you got less reds than you did when you started, then you're you're in good shape because that's the way you want to move. I know Scott and I, we were pretty good clean eaters anyway, but I noticed that even my scan this morning was a lot better than it had been. in the last few days. And I think it's just because we've cleaned up our diet even more, just going to that retreat and learning some other ways to eat. And it's just like, wow, it already, 5 days in and our scans are looking better. So sometimes just the smallest tweaks in your diet, in your lifestyle will give you great results on your scans. So keep up the
So
good work.
thank you. I do have a question. So right now I've been playing around with the app on a couple of different devices.
Mhm.
So, is it device specific in terms of it remembering you, or like if I use it on one device one day and then I try to open my profile on another device, will it pick that up?
Mhm.
Like, will it remember that?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's just the app that's following whatever device you put it on. So it's how do I explain it? The app is actually what is remembering everything. So whatever device you put it on, it's the same as it was when you had it on another device. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I didn't put
Yeah,
that very
no,
good,
that's
probably.
good. And then it will remember, it remembers the original scan that you did. It shows that, and then the current scan.
Yep. And as long as you do not change your profile, because if you change your profile, it's got to relearn everything.
Change
That's
your
what,
profile, meaning like a new voice
like
print, or do you have to do the voice print every morning?
it's
Every
if
time.
you were to change your information in your profile, like your picture, your name, your date of birth, all of that, your height, your weight. You don't want to change any of that. When you first put it in, just leave it that way. Even if you lose weight, or even if you know, just leave it alone.
Okay. So yeah, no changes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks. So, and then like I've got it going to my client profile, my own personal client profile, going to my personal email, but I've signed in with my business
That's
login.
okay. That's
Correct?
okay. Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay. That doesn't really make a difference.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Anybody else like to share anything? Just unmute yourself and let us know.
I'll share something.
Okay, go for it.
So we talked last week about autism, and I have the two boys. But I also have a friend who I've been doing some scans for, and she has a 12-year-old, and he goes into patterns where he doesn't like to sleep and for like 30 some hours. And I know, right? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. And so I started doing this. I started doing just playlists to him. And I hadn't seen her for like 3 weeks or so. I hadn't talked to her or anything. I was really busy and she was busy. And then she came over and I said, hey, by the way, I've been sending those playlists to your son. And I said, but about 5 days ago, I like my son got sick and things just happened and I didn't send any for like the last 5 days. And she just looked at me and she says, he's been sleeping regularly until 5 days ago.
Oh,
I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
No way. And she's like, yes. And it was crazy. Yes, it was really crazy. So yeah, it was, yeah, she's gonna sign up. She's gonna get her own scanner. I'm like, you got to do this for him.
yeah.
You've got to be able to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Wow.
fantastic. What a great little lapse there to make her see that, oh wow, this really does work. Sometimes people need that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's starting to try to get some just some voice clippings that she can. Sometimes our kids will they'll see the recorder and like just be really quiet. And then, the whole time that you don't have a recording, they're like just chatting away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, sometimes those kids are hard to get some recordings from, so I understand that.
Yeah. Is there, I mean, is there anything else that I mean, just does it matter? Like, I'm not sure about how does the background work when like my son likes to tap a lot? Does that interfere with it if he's chatting and
It's better if there's no other voices in the background, but like there's been a time or two where I've been in my house and my husband has had like soft just instrumental music going, and I'll just hold it up to me and just talk, and I don't think it's ever had an effect, but I think talking would definitely create a um interference. But as long as it's coming from him, I don't think you have that much of an issue.
okay, yeah, because I told her, I says, what I try to do is I just try to set the recorder down and just let it just catch whatever it catches,
Yeah.
and then try to figure out somewhere in between.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you're getting either their breathing, crying, or talking, you're going to be good. Grunting, I mean, some of these little kids, all they can do is make some type of noise, and that will even work too. So,
yeah, yeah, and I had one for my one too. He he's always been where it's taken 3 months. And we have some little bit of background. I don't know if it's me. Um, where it's always taken me like 3 months to get him to do anything. Oh my gosh, it's like such a chore. And so he's 33 and he's high functioning. He drives and everything. And since he got his license, I think it was like 21, 22 or something like that, till now, it's always been you have to leave. You have to leave for your appointment. You cannot wait till the last second like that. And it's over and over and over again. He like 15 minutes, that's all it takes to get to the other side of town. Doesn't matter, 15 minutes. Everywhere is 15 minutes. And today he had to go to an appointment and he left like 30 minutes. And I was like, "You're leaving already?" He's like, "Yes, I want to get there on time." I'm like, "What?" Yeah. So he's getting like the real focus that I've been sending him. So
that's awesome. That is, I muted myself because I think some of what we're picking up is either from us that are unmuted. Um, that's awesome. So something is working, something is helping. And and what I will tell people is anytime you're doing the inner voice, sometimes it takes this is subtle energy. So sometimes it takes a little while. I know for myself, people didn't start recognizing changes until 3 months in, and then 6 months in, they were like, wow, you're a totally different person. So it's just consistency and doing it over and over that is key. And even if you miss a couple of days, it's not detrimental, but just get back on. I know when I do my inner voice for clients, I do it Monday through Friday. I don't do it on the weekends, and they miss the weekends. So it is kind of neat to see the results of that.
well, we hadn't been doing the inner voice. I'd only been doing the playlist until last week. And then
Oh,
started last week when we had our conversation here. I decided I'd, try to do the inner voice. So I think out of the 7 days I did 4.
oh, nice.
So yeah. So
Well,
he's
that's still good.
yeah, I'll take it. It's one
Yeah.
less thing I have to deal with for 3 months, trying to change that schedule.
Well,
So
good. That sounds like great changes that are happening, especially if he's leaving a little bit early.
I
Yeah.
know.
Now, Tammy, I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen to last week's call, but we had quite a bit of conversation about autism
Hmm.
and some mamas wanting to have maybe a special Zoom just on that.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't had a chance. I got several calls I'm behind on, and I've just not had a chance yet.
I hear you.
But I will watch it. I haven't even posted it in the group yet. I'm so behind. So I will make a note and get that done this week. But I'd love to do that, most definitely.
I have a couple of clients, customers, whatever, sorry, that have families of autistic kids.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of my superfood formulas. But how would I go about introducing this to them?
I am real big about just sharing the inner voice. That's the first scan I do, and then when they start to see and feel changes, then I'll introduce the others to them. But the inner voice is simple enough. You get a nice report with that people can pretty much read it and understand it. Whereas if you throw that vitals or any of the other scans, they just get so confused and overwhelmed. Unless you've got time to sit with them on a Zoom call and kind of explain things.
Right.
That
So what would be the verbiage? I've come across this technology that could help the frequency. I don't know, like I don't even know what the verbiage would be to say to a mother of autistic children. Well, these are adult children as well. So I don't know, maybe somebody can give me an
well
idea there.
with your autistic kids, they are very much, or even adults, they're very receptive to frequencies. So you have a device in your hands that will um, help them to understand their body a little bit more, and it helps to release some of those emotions, and we know that emotions are some of what the cause of some of these disease patterns, and using the inner voice along with that is going to help release that stuff so that their body can actually find healing. That is what I say with a lot of my clients. That's how I start it, is typically is just to, just let me share one scan with you. Use it with your child, see how they react. And most generally, they're either going to get a really bad reaction because the kid, what I've noticed is that they will either scream and cry because the tunes are aggravating to them because they're very receptive. And then if they'll just give it some time, they'll be able to listen to it over and over. Or it could be the opposite where they just absolutely love it, because and then later they'll have, you know, maybe something come up that's not so comfortable. But that's the process of this. Sometimes, it just depends on the person in general. That's what I'm finding with the ones that I work with.
And I was a public school teacher.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was a public school teacher for 42 years, and parents of autistic children pretty much will try anything.
Yeah.
Because they're so desperate. All the medical field offers them is pharmaceuticals, and then their kids all drugged up. So just say, I have something I think might work. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Non-invasive, drug-free, something that's
don't complicate it.
Yeah, something that sometimes people go, well, that's just too simple. That's exactly what we want.
Right.
Something that's simple for once. So that's kind of what I share with my parents, something that's very simple.
And I have a
They just need to
testimonial
send me
too.
a voice.
Go right ahead.
Well, Leslie said something.
Go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, no, I just said they just need to send me like a 10-second voice clip.
Yeah.
And then I can write it and then email it to them.
Okay.
Yep.
So, first of all, excuse me, it's 99 degrees in my area, and I was out watering flowers, and I'm all sweaty and yucky.
Yeah.
But this weekend, I was driving to Omaha, which is a 3-hour drive for me, and I started sneezing and coughing. My eyes were watering. I thought, oh no, because I was going to be away for the whole weekend. So I didn't have any oils with me. I didn't have any nutrition. I had nutritionals, but they weren't things like for sinuses or anything like that. So I just got on my Solex and I ran sinuses stuff, and I ran that all night. Sinuses. For me, I need a lot of exposure to frequencies. And anyway, the next morning I was better. The next morning I didn't have any sniffles, sneezing. I did have a sore throat, so I just ran Cephis on a sore throat. And a couple hours later, I was fine. It was amazing. It was amazing because for me, and so like I have to run stuff all night to get the effects, where you guys can just do you know, one round of Cephes and you're good, but for some reason I need more. But anyway, excuse my appearance. I'm just sweaty.
You know, Carolyn, it might have been that you just picked the right frequency. Maybe the other frequencies that you have picked have just not been right for you. You know, it could be that. It could be
Yeah.
that.
But it was
It,
just so exciting because I actually went to Walgreens and bought some cold stuff, and I never even opened it. Because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get sick and I'm going to need this, and I don't want to ruin the weekend. It was just absolutely wonderful.
good. That's good
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And I'm going to
sharing.
go off camera because I'm such a mess.
You're not a mess. I think we
Well, I'm
totally
sweaty.
understand. It is really, really hot out there. I know when I was
What's your
in Georgia,
temperature?
man, the humidity there is like, oh my gosh.
Well, the humidity here is 50%
Oh,
with
where are you
99.
at?
I'm in Nebraska. And so it feels like 100. Now it's down to 97. Feels like 100, but the humidity is 50%.
Yeah,
We grow a lot of corn here.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came on and I'm glad you shared. Anybody else got anything they'd like to share? Okay, I'll share about my mom. You know, we've been working on a spot with her on her back, and this has been there for a while. So I will tell you that we've been holding the device front to back to her, and we're noticing. In fact, I showed it to the practitioner that I went to visit this past weekend, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, Tammy, that is the C word actually leaving the body." So we are very close to this thing just falling off. And I will share pictures once we see that it's fallen off. But it is just simply amazing. And the playlist that we've been playing on her for that spot, she is responding well. We've been putting some essential oils on it, and then we keep a bandage on it, a breathable bandage, but it's a non-stick one because sometimes it bleeds a little bit. But it's been amazing to watch this transformation. And I've been working with my mom since November of 2020. And she's had a lot of health issues that has totally reversed. The last thing that that we'll probably work on, she just went through a liver and gallbladder cleanse, and I think that just helps speed up that spot kind of losing its oomph, so to speak. And let me tell you that just to watch the body transform and to heal has just been simply amazing to watch, because you can reverse anything. It's just whether or not you've got the patience to do it, and the stick to itiveness. And my mom has been an amazing client, let me tell you. She's been very, very um compliant, very compliant.
That's a
So
huge blessing. That's not common.
yeah, it is a huge blessing. And she has probably had this for some time and she just didn't know it. I
Hmm.
had actually raised her shirt up at one point to wand her with our other frequency device, and I was like, what is this? And it just kind of shocked me. And she had no idea that it was there. But I remember, when I was younger, when we go into dressing rooms and we would, try on our clothes together in these dressing rooms, I always noticed there was like a little mole in that area, but never what I saw when I lifted her shirt up. I was like, what is this? So took pictures of it, sent it to a few naturopaths and one of my mentors, and they, of course, did say that I was correct in what I thought it was. So it is. I'm not going to say it because one of my YouTube videos got taken down, and I don't know what it was that I said, but it is the C word, and it starts with M, and it is there. So, but it doesn't bother her. She's not having any pain. We're not seeing anything that is causing her any other discomforts. It just itches. She says she just wants to pull it off. So it is leaving the body, and you can clearly see that. And I hope to be able to kind of put all these pictures in one post so that people can see what that looks like, because it's simply amazing to watch.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I'm just
Wow.
yes, very wow. Yes, very, very wow. Such a great testimony. I mean, the Karen who I went and saw this past weekend, she goes, "Oh my gosh," because she's taken quite a few things. I mean, we've done lots of different protocols with her, and she's been very compliant on all those. And she really thought that with that one protocol it would have fallen off, but it didn't. So I think what it was doing was some stuff on the inside that we just can't see. So it's still all good. It's all positive moves in the right direction. So, and we'll take it. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? That's mine. For those of you coming on, I've got a couple of late ones that have come on. Just unmute yourself and feel free to share any testimonials on either the AO scanner, the 660 band, the inner illuminator. I had somebody, one of my friends that sent me a message today. She was actually the one that shared mirroring the devices. She said that what she's been using the inner illuminator on just recently is putting it on the points of the meridians to help balance those with the inner illuminator. And I thought, well, that's kind of crafty. Might have to try that. So you never know what you can use all your goodies for. She's also using it on her eyes, but
Yeah, I saw that picture of the woman where she had the 660 on the back of her neck. I mean, I was thinking, I have so many friends that have sore knees and this and that. Like, what's stopping you from putting it on whatever you want?
Right?
Yeah, it's just,
absolutely.
You just need an elastic, like a stretchy thing.
Yeah.
To hold it on.
Yep. Most definitely. It's a great little tool for a lot of different areas: ankles, knees, headaches, anything that
Kai actually takes two of them and wraps around his knee.
Yep.
I was thinking of getting a second one so I could, loan it out or game, like why not get two spots for the same time thing? I use the timer on my little Fitbit thingy here for 20 minutes and that's it. Yeah.
Hey.
Makes it easy.
Sure. Okay, anybody else like to share anything?
So this Wednesday time every week generally is a sharing of testimonies.
Yes. Yeah, this is mainly just a testimonial call. I am changing the team training from a Saturday. I'm thinking either Tuesday evening is probably what I'm going to do on team training.
Then 8:30 tonight is the presentation corporate.
Yes. Here in about 29 more minutes.
On the YouTube.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump off and I'll see you at 8:30. Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie.
Bye, Leslie.
Bye-bye.
All right. Anybody else like to share anything while you got the chance? And it could be on anything that we have.
Well, I don't know about sharing. What I have found is there's a lot of uses. We're in the middle of a pilot with our ministry to see how beneficial it might be coming alongside our counseling and our activation of the human spirit and several other elements. So Chelsea is my person over me. And so one of the one of the people that's in our pilot study today. And again, sorry, but this is a training question. I did basic one, but what happens when the average frequency is over into the thousands? Is that a wonky thing? Does it need to be pre-cached and the cache be cleared? Is that what that's showing? Can you share that along that line?
What I am finding with the average frequencies, and it's been a common thread between many of us that are practitioners, is that, for example, I did a scan on one of my clients, and it was like the third one in on inner voice. And her average frequencies was 6,583 and some change. And I thought,
Right.
holy cow, what is going on? Because I'd never seen any frequencies that high. I'd see them in the thousands, maybe sometimes 2 or 3,000, but never 6,000. So in chatting with her, she let me know that she was under a whole lot of stress. Her parents live, like 6 states away. They're elderly, they're needing help. She's the only child that is available to help them. She's in school. She was having troubles with a certain class and getting all of her information in or something. She's got small children that she was, getting ready for school every morning, and she was getting her voice recording into me about every morning before 10 o'clock. And so in speaking to her, she goes, Tammy, the stress is about to do me in, everything that I've got going on. And I thought, well, that's very interesting. Your scan is showing 6,500 and some odd, in your average frequencies. Well, then she started paying attention to it, and she began practicing some meditative states prior to sending me her voice recording, and those frequencies began to come down. And the more she did the inner voice with me, I noticed that the frequencies were coming down. So we got to the point after about 2 months of her doing the inner voice with me where her average frequencies were around 5 to 600. And she goes, I didn't even realize that I was so stressed. And even her inner voice reports were saying manage stress, manage stress. So, what we're finding, or what I'm seeing, and what other practitioners are also seeing when they communicate with their clients, is that anybody that's got those higher frequencies, there's something going on with their nervous system. It's just out of uh, I don't forget the word. Anyways, so you've got your nervous system that kind of handles everything, your ANS, your PNS, your CNS, all of that, has a play on that. So that's what we're noticing. And
Okay.
Lauren has not stated this, but I think maybe at next day of discovery, it's a question that we ought to ask again, because at first when we first got it, we didn't. He said he didn't know what those numbers meant. They were collecting data for it.
So this is not a trend with this client. This is not a trend. She definitely does manage her stress. She does meditation. She's a psychologist, actually.
Mhm.
Um, so this was, I thought, an anomaly, and I suggested to her that she go ahead and send the same voice recording back to our staff person who's sending out reports and
Mhm.
see what happens. Because,
Yeah.
to me, I kind of wonder if it was a one-off with machine that needs to be clear to cache, because it hasn't been her pattern. That those numbers, it was 5,000 and plus.
Yeah.
So to me, that's my strategy unless we see a trend. But I
Sure.
just wondered what you guys were doing. Thank
That
you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed with the clients that I work with. I mean, I always ask them when the frequencies are really high, hey, is there something you've got going on that, is creating some unwarranted stress in your body, in your life at this time? And they usually will let me know. And it's always been something's going on.
I'll check with her about that tonight. I'll send her a message. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share on testimonials?
Tammy, I have another one.
Sure,
This is Carolyn again. I don't want to go on camera.
that's fine.
But anyway, I've had the problem with when I wash my hair. Oh my goodness, I actually have a trap so that it catches my hair, and it's awful to clean out. Well, lately, about the last 2 weeks, I haven't had hardly any, and I think it's just the overall, doing all this frequencies and all the scans. I think that's a big thing. But the thing that I've been doing different is I take a lot of supplements, but I've been taking prime methylated every day. And I don't know if that's it, but that's the only thing that's possibly different. I would only take the prime methylated when the scanner told me to.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh heck, I'm taking it every day. But today I noticed that I was cleaning my shower thing out, and I thought, there's no hair, and there's usually a ton. So I don't know.
There might be something to that.
I know.
I love those supplements, and I'm out of them right now, so I've got to place an order, but it's like I don't want to run out of them anymore.
Why don't we get okay, I got the 30% discount on one
Yeah.
thing, but it's really funny. I was ordering some stuff for a friend, and I told her the total, and I said, I don't get a discount, because like with if you sell Mary Kay and you order for a friend, you get a discount.
Right.
We don't. So I said, this is what I have to pay. And so
Yeah.
she's like, okay, that's fine. But still, why don't we get a discount? Do we make any money back on it?
Well, I mean, if you had another account under you, you could order from that account, and it'd be like double dipping. But I mean, I order all my stuff through Scott's account.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I can see where you do that.
I mean, if your supplements are on auto ship, you could actually have a second account where what you have on auto ship, as long as it meets that criteria. I mean, you could do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, there's
Okay,
still the
thanks.
difference between wholesale and retail too. And then if it's on
Absolutely.
auto ship, you get another discount. So
Right.
we do get a discount.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I just bought a bottle of FUVIC for $50 plus shipping and tax. So what's with that?
It's $62.50 retail.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
That's
Where's it-
cheap, Carolyn. That is cheap. Most of the fulvic that we have been using for years is over $100.
Yeah.
This is cheap.
Yeah, it really is. Our supplements are not marked up like everybody else's.
Oh,
That's
no,
for sure.
no. They're incredibly reasonable.
Yes, very
Okay,
much so.
so I'm trying to pull up the thing I took a screenshot for her. Okay. I didn't see where the retail was.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll tell her that because I felt kind of bad.
yeah, the
No.
retail, yeah.
She's getting a very good deal at $50. That's cheap. That's half what you would normally pay with another fulvic company.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else like to share anything? Well, I can share one with me and Scott. In Georgia, the gnats are horrible. So guess what? I pulled up my device and I put the mosquito repellent on that I have. And sure enough, the gnats didn't bother us. I'm talking the gnats get into your ears, your nose, your mouth, your eyes, anything that's open, that the gnats will just fly into your into your face. So I told Scott, I said, let's put our mosquito repellent on. And we did, and we're not bothered by the gnats as much as we were. So
what
Wow.
did you use? Tammy, what did you use?
I used I can tell you real quick. It's a very simple playlist.
Okay.
Let me pull it up here. Oops. It is insect DT,
Okay.
bacteria DT, energetic clearing, energetic shield, bites, insect, and eucalyptus. I think it's the eucalyptus actually that just really wards them off, and then the insect DT. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in that playlist.
What was after energetic clearing?
Energetic shield,
Okay, and then
bites,
eucalyptus.
bites, insects, and eucalyptus. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
have, well, all of my house plants are infested with gnats. So they're in the garage right now, and Earl May said to use this solution on them, but I think they're all gonna get thrown out.
Oh wow.
They're terrible. It's terrible. It's in the dirt. It's in the dirt. It's
Yeah,
not in the plant.
there must be something that they're loving in that dirt, so I just repot them or something.
Yeah, I don't know what
Weird.
I'm gonna do.
And the flies have been horrible this year at our place. It's like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, the flies are insane right now. And you know, even when I drove through Nevada, the crickets were insane. I'm like, I think we're getting plagues.
Yeah.
Kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, we're getting some plagues here. All right. Anybody else got any beautiful testimonials they'd like to share? I think everybody's asleep on this evening.
It's the heat. It's draining us all.
I think it is. I think it is. Most definitely. All right. Well, we got 15 minutes until our call with Solex. And if we don't have any more testimonials, we can open it up for some questions. If anybody has any questions or have anything they want answered. I don't want to waste 15 minutes on nothing.
Tammy, when you said that the eucalyptus was in that insect, is that an oil that you just
It's homeopathic.
Oh, it's under homeopathic?
It's under the homeopathics, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, shall we end it for this evening and give everybody a break?
Well, I have a quick question.
Go for it.
It might not even be quick. I don't know. You know, I tend to overthink things, so I'm not trying to make this.
Come on, Dr. Darrell. You? No.
But I just like the opinion of practitioners here. When you're doing a scan, let's just take vitals, just to be simplistic. How much weight do you give to the numbers that were out of balance prior to optimization? I can expound on my question, but I'm hoping it just makes sense in that context. The before
it does make a lot of sense, because I've had this come up several times. And I honestly, when I'm looking at that scan and I see that it was, green, are you talking about green to begin with and then it goes red?
No, I'm talking about actually the exact opposite. Let's say you have a category of digestion and there were 9s and 8s and 7s all over the place. But now after optimization, everything is 5, 6, 4, When I look at that, I immediately think, okay, we're looking at a digestive system that's completely out of order. However, we know that frequencies can bring them back.
Right.
But sometimes I think the exact opposite. I think that those before numbers were just the chaos of frequency, and now we're looking at what they actually are. I'm just wondering if anybody has thought about it like that.
And that's that's kind of what Lauren has said in some times past. And it's using the frequencies, and the body is able to use those and find the homeostasis it needs, and then just retraining it over and over. It just depends on when you did the scan. Is this the first time, or have they been being scanned for some time? Because what I notice is people that I first scan, you'll see a lot of that. But then further on down the line, you'll notice that they're more balanced than they were when we started. Does that make?
It does. So if you've been scanning someone for a while, months, regularly, and their before frequency or before optimization numbers were still out of whack, would you look at it as though that's real, meaning they really are struggling in that area and you just help them? Or would you look at it as after the balancing frequencies, it showed me what really was going on in their body?
No, I would still look at it because I would just pay attention to that the next couple days. And if it consistently shows up, then you know they've got a digestive problem going on.
Even if the frequencies balance them, you would okay.
I would.
That's how I think.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
how
don't
I
have
would.
very many people to bounce this off of.
Yeah, that's how I would look at it because yeah, they may balance with the frequencies, but why are they out of balance when you start?
Yeah.
If they're out of balance when you start, then they've obviously got something going on that they need to change in order to see those a little bit more balanced before the optimization. Because really, that is a digestive problem, as the way I would look at it.
I think that a lot of people who are doing this, I mean, of course, we don't have to analyze this to any extent. No, we can just keep, doing it. But people who are analyzing it, I think that a lot of people are just paying no attention to the before optimization part. For them, the only thing that matters is whether or not, they got the double reds going on.
Yeah, and I think you need to look at the prior to sometimes. Yeah. Because even with myself, one of the things that I've been working on for some time is thyroid health and iodine and stuff. And I've kind of stopped taking my iodine because I'm wanting to see what's going on. But I'm noticing that with me not taking it, I'm out of range prior to, and then I'm in range after the optimization. So that's letting me know that my body is needing something in that area. Yeah. And I need to supplement or I need to do something in my diet to make that be more in line, not just with the frequencies. Because you can't, in my mind, you can't just rely on just the frequencies alone. You've got to give yourself the right food, the right supplements, the right things that you need. And of course, food needs to be our medicine, period. But our food's so bad, you have to supplement sometimes. So,
well,
that's other. Go ahead.
Other things to be aware of is how are they presenting? What's going on with them? That intake questionnaire, what do we know is going on noticeably? Right. And any single scan can have all kinds of interference. So is it consistently that way? And does it match with the symptoms that they're presenting with? And I like to go read the inner voice reports and I like to read the body system reports and put things together instead of just taking one set of values. What's everything else look like? And does it indicate that there's something really going on here?
Yeah. And then also the other indicator is also the emotions that keep consistently showing up for a said person, because those emotions can have a direct correlation to an organ system, so like one scan that I was looking at just today, I was noticing unworthiness showing up consistently like 6 or 7 times across the board with her scans. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So where is unworthiness? That's, I forget, Scott brought his emotion code. And I thought, wow, that makes total sense. And then when I got to looking at the rest of her scans, I'm like, this all just, it all correlates. This is where she's having her problems. So emotionally, she was being affected, with her own health by just those emotions alone. So sometimes you have to look at that too.
Absolutely, because emotions are behind almost every physical imbalance, and digestive is big for emotions.
Yes.
So that might also explain why something can look really bad starting out and the frequencies balance, because it could be emotional, which can be adjusted by frequency.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Thank you for that, both of you. If they were a mess prior and then the frequencies balance them out, then we might be looking at something more than just supplementation or food. Emotion is the biggest frequency that's out there. Right. And so if they're that sensitive to frequencies that they became balanced, that's a good way to look at it. Let's really look at emotions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I do when I look at these scans. I will look at everything, the hard evidence that you can see. Okay, but let's look and see what's under that. What is driving that? Because typically It's either emotions or it's something in their lifestyle or toxicities or virus loads or bacteria or something. But what I'm finding is a lot of it is emotions, and they just have got to get these emotions cleared. And doing that inner voice work every day is going to help with that.
Yeah. And just going back to, well, I'm sorry, really quickly, what I was about to say a minute ago was, when I look at the easy scan, or just, even if I'm looking at the vitals, the thing that stayed double red, that probably then goes back to the means that that's just the most out of order, because the frequencies didn't even help with that.
Yeah.
But with all of this being said, I know that she didn't necessarily know anything major, or that we don't know, or maybe you do. But Tammy hinted that eventually we will probably have to stop wondering these things.
Yeah.
We'll stop.
That's what I got from Lauren at leadership.
Yeah.
That one of his biggest frustrations is that a lot of people are spending a lot of time analyzing these reports. He says, and it's not diagnostic. He said, however, pretty soon our scanners will give us the suggestions that we're looking for with our vitals and our comprehensive, as well as, what it already does with our inner voice and our body systems, so it's going to shoot out. We won't have to worry about it. I
We
mean,
will
so
have to
I
sit
just
there
don't.
and analyze all of these data points.
Yeah, I would. Even from the very beginning, he's kind of stated that, this scanner is ever evolving, and I don't know, just spending a lot of time trying to break down the data and the information. I think we're just spinning our wheels. Just scan, optimize, do your inner voice every day, and you are going to be on top of the world. So that's kind of what I do. But I have a few clients that really want to know what's going on. So you kind of have to dig deep. But, until then, that's what we do.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for indulging me.
You're welcome.
And thank you too, Dr. Sheila.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got a couple more minutes. Anything else before we close out? I just can't thank y'all enough for being here. This is incredible. Our call is incredible. The things that we share here is just amazing. And again, invite ones that you think could benefit from these calls and have them come on. And if you've got anybody that that would love to share, if they're just a client and they want to come on and share, we'd love to hear from others too. Not just those of us using them on a daily basis, but welcome anybody on the call.
Yep. And I just want to second that. This is really a powerful call. It impacts people in so many ways, and you never know. I mean, no matter how small you think your experiences are, or things that you've noticed, or maybe you suspect, sharing that information and letting other people hear it, and it can spark something they might have been thinking or wondering about as well. This is just really powerful. So we do appreciate the time you take out of your schedule to come here, because I know it's a sacrifice, but we are very grateful.
We are very much so. All right, guys. Well, I will go ahead and end the call unless somebody has something. I'm going to leave it for anybody that would like to say anything. All right. All right. Well, if you don't know about the Solex call, go get on the YouTube, and it will be starting in 5 minutes. I know there's going to be some exciting announcements this evening, so be on that, and please come next week again. Invite your interested ones, and we'll get this posted to my YouTube and in the groups, and Dr. Sheila will be posting it in hers as well. And we thank you. So you guys have a great evening.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.